Jets Ward.
ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I'm your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I got a fun one for you. But first, if you have been here before, welcome back. You know I love having you guys here. It is a great place to be because you guys keep coming back for more. And if you are new here, welcome. Whether you're a Jets fan of another NFL team, or just a casual NFL fan, you are always welcome here. It is a safe space for you. Now, guys, the NFL draft is less than a week away. We are getting excited. It is almost here. And today, I'm excited. I'm going to do another mock draft with you guys. But instead of our normal one where I picked my picks already and I show you them on the screen, I'm going to do one in real time with you guys. All right? So, with that being said, today's a little different. We're not just going to focus on the Jets. We're going to focus on the entire NFL. And we are going to do a 2-round NFL mock draft. No trades, just going straight down the picks. These are my opinions, my ideas, and what I think each team can go for if they were to stay at their picks and no trades were to happen. And I would love to hear comments too from other fans too. If you think I got it right, if you think the players that I picked for your team, you like them, let me know what you guys think. Or if you hate them, let me know what you guys think as well. I'd love to hear feedback from you guys. I always do. But without further ado, we are going to be using the NFL mock draft database for you guys. And I'll even put it up a little bit bigger for you guys. I have it all set up right now. Get these ads out of here. But without further ado, let's get started. And honestly, with the Vegas Raiders up first, I think we all know where this is going. Fernando Mendoza going off the board at pick number 1. I think, guys, honestly, do we even need to talk about this one? Really, these guys, Mendoza's going to go number 1. They need a quarterback. It's already been, I'm 100% sure that he's going number 1. But the real draft starts now. Now, with the New York Jets, you guys know I've been a big fan of Arvell Reese. He has been somebody who has been linked to the Jets at pick 2 for months now. I know David Bailey is another option, and I know some people might think that he's a better fit for the New York Jets. I don't agree. I think Arvell Reese, what he brings as an edge rusher, as an off-ball linebacker, as an outside linebacker, he can cover, he can do all these different things. And with the recent news that he wasn't even coached to be an edge rusher at Ohio State, and that when he was rushing the passer, that it was all moves that he came up with instinctively. I think if Dunbar were to get his hands on him, I think he'd be coached right and could be a monster on the edge rusher at the edge rusher position for the New York Jets, and could be dominant in this league. He's solid in the run defense, solid in pass coverage. I'm going Arvell Reese at pick number 2 for the New York Jets. But then that leaves us with the Arizona Cardinals. We know their biggest needs. They need an offensive tackle. They need edge rush, quarterback, linebacker. They need a lot of things. But at this pick, I think what they desperately need, you have to have an offensive line to protect your quarterback. They have Jacoby Brissett there right now, who is going to be their starting quarterback. I think he's solid when he's upright. So we're going to go offensive tackle, and I think the best tackle in the draft is Francis Maui-Noah. So I am taking Francis Maui-Noah to go to the Arizona Cardinals at pick number 3. And then we get to the Tennessee Titans. Biggest needs: running back, edge rusher, linebacker, wide receiver, interior offensive line, offensive tackle. Running back, edge rusher, and linebacker are some of their biggest needs. Without trading back, this is a prime spot where I think Tennessee could trade back for a team like I know Dallas is interested in coming up for an edge rusher. So David Bailey being there could be an interesting one for them. But there's a lot of smoke about Jeremiah Love going to Tennessee. I think it's real. I think wide receiver is a bigger need for them. But Jeremiah Love looked at as being the best player in this draft, best offensive player in this draft especially. I have him going number 4 to the Tennessee Titans. So big picks right now. Getting to the New York Giants. They need defensive help. They need safety help. They need linebacker help. Bobby Okereke being gone. I have them going Sonny Styles at number 5. Then we get to the Cleveland Browns, and this is where we have our first receiver going off the board. I love Carnell Tate. He's my number 1 receiver in this draft. I think he makes a lot of sense for the Cleveland Browns, and that is where he is going to Cleveland. Now, we get to Washington at pick 7, their only pick of the day. They need running back, wide receiver, edge rushing help, safety help. They need a good amount, and I have something a little different that I'm going to do with them. They need some help back in the back end. I honestly have them. Edge rusher could definitely be good here. Either David Bailey or Ruben Bain. Caleb Downs could be a fun one there too. I have the Washington Commanders going edge rusher David Bailey. The best player left on the board. I think they need to. I think that's the best player for them. Honestly, great move for them. Then we get the New Orleans Saints. Everybody's saying that they could go edge rusher and everything like that. I don't agree. I know Ruben Bailey's there, but I have them going wide receiver, and I have them going Makai Lemon. Bring in some extra help there for Chris Olave and for their young quarterback and Tyler Show. I think wide receiver makes tons of sense there. Then we get to the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them going cornerback. That is one of their biggest needs, and I have them taking Mansour Delane from LSU, the best cornerback in this draft, leaving us to the Cincinnati Bengals, and I have them also going cornerback, and I have them taking Jermod McCoy. They need defensive back help. They need safety help. They need cornerback help. They need defensive line help. They need offensive line help in Cincinnati. I think they're going to go cornerback. Jermod McCoy could end up becoming the best corner in this draft class. Dinged up, didn't play last year, was hurt. So if he played, he was looking like the best cornerback in the draft. Which leads us into Miami's next pick. They need wide receiver. They need cornerback, offensive tackle, edge help, safety help. Honestly, what they could do could be fun to go Ruben Bain here. I see Ruben Bain falling. I think a lot of people are going to be scared off about his arm length. I have Caleb Downs going here. Caleb Downs going to Miami. They need safety help. I think that's going to help them out a ton. Then we get to Dallas. They need cornerback help as well, but they see Ruben Bain right there. I think it's too much to pass up. Dallas at this pick, at pick number 12, they get a steal. They get Ruben Bain. Now we get to the Rams. Some of their biggest needs, they need wide receiver help, offensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback. You got to keep your quarterback upright. I think they're going to go with an offensive tackle. They're going to go the next best one, Spencer Fanu. Then we get to Baltimore, and I think the best position for them to go to, they need help on that offensive line, the interior especially. So Vega Ioane is going to Baltimore at this pick. Then we get to Tampa. What do we need at Tampa? They need a good amount of stuff. They need an edge rusher, linebacker, tight end, cornerback. But they see a great player still there. They see the best tight end in this draft, Kenyon Sadiq. I have Kenyon Sadiq going to Tampa at pick 16, right in front of the Jets. Which means Jets are back up on the clock. Our first pick that we had with them was Arvell Reese. I think they desperately need to go pass catcher here. Omar Cooper Jr. is, in my opinion, an Aaron Glenn guy. Just that type of play that he has. But Jordan Tyson, man, if he can stay healthy, this is a big, big boom player. Can stay healthy, is a monster who can play very, very well. I have the Jets going Jordan Tyson at wide receiver. Now getting into pick 17. The Lions need some help. They need offensive tackle help. And they're going to see one right there. Monroe Freeling. He is going to go to Detroit. Minnesota, perfect position for them. They get their safety help. They get Dylan Thieneman. Then we get to Carolina. Carolina's needs: tight end, wide receiver, offensive tackle, cornerback, D-line, safety, interior offensive line, edge, going down the list. I see them going with another wide receiver. They end up taking Omar Cooper Jr. Big move for Carolina. They get some help for Tet McMillan over there, getting help for their young quarterback in Young as well. And now we get to Dallas. They need cornerback help. Luckily, there's still a solid cornerback on the board, and his name is Colton Hood. He is going to the Dallas Cowboys. Then we get to Pittsburgh. They need tackle help, wide receiver help, interior offensive line help. They need a good amount of stuff, but I think you need to protect your quarterback, especially when Aaron Rodgers comes back, because I do think he comes back. And I have them going with a player that I really, really like in this draft. It might be a little bit of a reach here, but Emmanuel Pregnon is one of my favorite guards in this draft class. A lot of people can see him going to the second round. I see him going a lot higher than a lot of people think. Pittsburgh gets a monster on the interior offensive line. Emmanuel Pregnon going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which leads us into the Chargers, who also need interior line help. They also need edge rusher help. I think it's a little too high for Chase Basantis. Akeem Messidor is still there. TJ Parker, Keldrick Folk. Honestly, I think this is where Keldrick Folk goes off the board. They need a lot of help on that defensive line in LA. So Keldrick Folk going to the Chargers at pick 22. Now we get to the Philadelphia Eagles. They need offensive tackle help, edge help, wide receiver, tight end help. Honestly, they need a lot of good stuff. Akeem Messidor is still there. Caden Proctor's still there. Emmanuel McNeil Warren's a good one. Caleb Lomu. Honestly, I'm going to go Caden Proctor here. I think Caden Proctor makes a ton of sense. You can play him at guard. You can play him at tackle. You can come in, play on different type spots on the offensive line. I think that's a great spot for him. Now we get to the Cleveland Browns. They need offensive line help. And luckily, there is still offensive linemen that are really good here. They're going to go Blake Miller, getting a really good offensive lineman there that falls. Chicago, they need D-line help, edge rusher help, safety help, wide receiver help. Could definitely use another edge rusher, but they've lost so many in the defensive backcourt. I'm going to have them go with one of the more underrated players in this draft, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety from Toledo. I have him going to Chicago right here. Buffalo. They need edge rusher help, wide receiver help, linebacker help, D-line help. There's a lot of good players still here for them to take. I have them going. I'll have them go Akeem Messidor. I think Akeem Messidor is a great first-round pick. Going to be knocked because he's a little older of a prospect, but I think he fits what Buffalo wants to do. Solid player for the Buffalo Bills and Akeem Messidor. Then we get to San Francisco. They need offensive tackle help, edge help, wide receiver help. Let's see. Offensive tackle help is definitely something they really desperately need. But there is a solid wide receiver there that is still there. I have them going Denzel Boston. They need a big-bodied receiver. I think he makes sense for them over there. Solid receiver. They get Denzel Boston, which leads to Houston, who needs D-line help, offensive line help, interior line help. They need linemen on both sides of the ball. And for these guys, I have them going. Peter Woods is a really good player, but I do see him falling. Honestly, for them, yeah, I'm going to go with TJ Parker. I think they need help, edge help. No, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to go with Peter Woods. I think he just makes too much sense. You can shuffle him down on the D-line a ton. Next, we get to Kansas City, edge rush, wide receiver help. We already got a cornerback from them. Edge rusher TJ Parker. Go back-to-back Clemson players here. Then we get to Miami. They need wide receiver, cornerback, edge, offensive tackle. You know what? I think KC Concepcion makes a ton of sense for them. I'm going to take no. Yeah, I'm going to take KC Concepcion. They need all the wide receiver help they can get. They just traded Jalen Waddle. They let Tyreek Hill go. I know they signed some other players at the position, Tutu Atwell, players like that, but I still think they desperately need help at the wide receiver room. Then we get to New England. They need edge help, offensive tackle help, wide receiver help, linebacker help. I'm going to actually go with the offensive line. I'm going to go Caleb Lomu. I really like him. You could also play him at offensive guard, especially they still have Morgan Moses, who he can play right tackle as well, but they need guard help as well. So he could shift into guard, and then when Morgan Moses retires, they can go Caleb Lomu. He is going there to New England. And then we get to Seattle. They need cornerback help, running back help, edge help, wide receiver help. You know, I really like where Seattle is at right now. And there's a solid cornerback that has fallen. I don't think he falls too much because of the injury. I still think he's a first-round talent. I'm going to go Avion Terrell right here. And that completes our first round. Now we get to the Jets on the clock at pick 33. Remember, no trades. And right now we have Arvell Reese and Jordan Tyson. And what we need, edge rusher help, cornerback help. I don't think cornerback is as big a need as a lot of people think. We still have a quarterback there, Ty Simpson, if you want to go Ty Simpson. I think the Jets wait a little later. CJ Allen is a fun one. Cassius Howell is still there. Max Eikenar, Zion Young, Caleb Banks. Malachi Lawrence is a big one for a lot of people. But honestly, what I think the Jets need to do is they need to beef up the interior offensive line. And I am going to go with Chase Basantes. I really like Chase Basantes. I think he fits the offensive line. He can come in and start right away, or it can compete with Dylan Parham for that left guard position. And let's say Myers doesn't play as well. Parham can shift over to center. And the Jets end up getting, Jets end up getting one of the better offensive linemen in this draft. I have the Jets taking Chase Basantes. Which then leads us into the next pick, which is the Arizona Cardinals. And this is where I see Ty Simpson going. They get their quarterback of the future. Ty Simpson going to Arizona. Then we get Tennessee. They have running back Jeremiah Love. They have one more pick today. They need edge rusher help, linebacker help, wide receiver help. Robert Saleh is going to get his player at this point, and they are going to go with Zion Young, edge rusher from Missouri. I think he fits the Robert Saleh way. Aggressive, physical, big-bodied guy. Robert Saleh gets his edge rusher, Zion Young. Then we get to Vegas. They need a lot of help. They need offensive line help desperately. They need wide receiver help as well. Cornerback, edge rusher, D-line. But I'm going to go offensive line help for these guys. You got to protect your new quarterback. And Max Eikenar Encore. I forget how you say his name. I'm going to go him right here. They need tackle help. And the Vegas Raiders boost up that offensive line. Then we get to our next pick, the New York Giants. We have Sonny Styles there. I think they stay on the defensive side of the ball. Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade. I think they grant it to him. I think he gets traded. You need to beef up that defensive line with a great defensive tackle. And the best pure defensive tackle, in my opinion, is still on the board, Caden McDonald. Giants get their monster up the middle. Caden McDonald going to New York. Then we get to Houston. First pick I had for them was Peter Woods. Now, I think they still need to beef up that offensive. Now they need to get to the offensive side of the ball. And looking down this list, let's go to interior offensive line, see who there is still there. Keelan Rutledge is still there. I think he is much better than a lot of people think. Offensive tackles, who's still there? Jennings Dunker can play. I think he gets put down to offensive guard. I'm going to go Keelan Rutledge. I think they need guard help. He helps out a ton of things for Houston. Physical mauler type of guy. Somebody who they would want on that offensive line. I think they're going to enjoy him. Now we get to Cleveland. Who would I get for Cleveland? Carnell Tate, Blake Miller. Cornerback help, edge help. Safety, tight end. You know, let's see. Linebacker C.J. Allen is falling in this one, which is crazy. You know, I'm going to go cornerback here. I think it fits them. I think they get what they need. Brandon Cisse from South Carolina, I think comes in as a day one starter for them. Brandon Cisse going to Cleveland. Then we get to Kansas City. We have a Mansour Delane, TJ Parker. They need receiver help, offensive tackle help. So right now, what I have them doing, let's see wide receivers. Who's still around? Chris Bell. I think he falls. The injury scares me with him. Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazzell. They need a big-bodied receiver. I'm going Chris Brazzell. I like him a lot more than a lot of people. I think he's probably the fourth or fifth best receiver in this draft. Maybe fighting for the fourth spot, definitely. So Chris Brazzell going to Kansas City. Big-bodied guy, willing blocker, really good speed, really good at high-pointing the ball, monster in the red zone. I think Kansas City gets a beast with him. Then we get to Cincinnati. They need safety help. We got cornerback already for them, linebacker. I'm going to go linebacker with them, and this is where they get another monster. C.J. Allen, one of the best pure linebackers in this draft class. He is going to Cincinnati. In New Orleans, Mekhi Lemon was their first pick. They need edge rusher help, and there is a great player still there for them. Malachi Lawrence from UCF, very underrated. He is going to New Orleans at this pick. Miami, wide receiver, cornerback, offensive tackle, edge rusher help. You know, there is a cornerback still here that I really, really like. Somebody who I think is one of the better ones in this draft class. His place is small, but plays much bigger than a lot of people think and is very physical. I'm going D'Angelo Pons for Miami, which leads us back to the New York Jets. Edge rusher help, cornerback help, quarterback, D-line, safety. You know, let's see. D-line, they could Caleb Banks, definitely. I think they need safety pretty badly. I'm going to go AJ Halsey. I like him. The physicality from him. I think he's much better. He's a definite second round pick, pick 44. AJ Halsey at safety, packed there with Minkah Fitzpatrick, I think could be wreak hell for a lot of wide receivers. So AJ Halsey coming to the New York Jets. Then we get to Baltimore. They need wide receiver, offensive tackle, tight end. Okay, Fields. I'm very high on Elijah Surratt. I think he's very sure-handed. I'm going Elijah Surratt for the Ravens. I know these numbers, the spots where they're ranked on here, it's different for everybody, and I have different rankings than what the NFL mock draft database has. I love Elijah Surratt. I think he fits what the Ravens want to do over there. Very sure-handed. Not the fastest guy, but a physical guy, and doesn't drop many passes. Big-bodied guy, leader on that team. I think he could be really, really good for Baltimore. Then we get to Tampa Bay. We got Kenyon Sadiq. They need edge rusher help, linebacker help. There's a linebacker here that I really, really like. Jacob Rodriguez is awesome, but I think Anthony Hill Jr. is very underrated. I see him going to Tampa Bay and being a monster there. So Anthony Hill Jr. going to Tampa Bay. Then we get to Indianapolis, their first pick. They need linebacker help. They need edge help. They need wide receiver help, D-line help, tackle help. They need a lot over there. I think I might go the best player on my board, and that's going to be Jacob Rodriguez. I like Jacob Rodriguez a lot. I think he goes in and fits that need. They traded their best linebacker this offseason. Jacob Rodriguez goes there to Indianapolis. I think that's a great play for them. Then we get to Atlanta. This is their wide receiver, cornerback, D-line, edge help. You know, I'm going Caleb Banks here. I think he's a monster. I think you could put him on anywhere on the defensive line as well and bump him out to edge too if they need it. Caleb Banks just wreaks havoc, man. I know the injuries were something that took him down a little bit, but Caleb Banks, I really, really like. I'm going him here to Atlanta. Minnesota. D-line help, cornerback help, running back help. No further. I can't go any further without taking a running back here. And there's Jeremiah Love's teammate, Jadarian Price. Also a great kick returner. I like him here. I think it makes a ton of sense. Jadarian Price going to Minnesota. Then Detroit. Our last pick that we had with them was a tackle, Monroe Freeling. Give them some edge help, cornerback help. Let's see who's on the board. And I think one of the better edge rushers in this draft class are Mason Thomas. He is going to Detroit. Then we get to Carolina. We had a wide receiver for them. They need tight end help, offensive tackle, cornerback, D-line. You know what? Beef up the defensive line. Lee Hunter is going there. That's great for Carolina. Lee Hunter and Omar Cooper Jr., that's a steal, guys. Green Bay. Cornerback, D-line, edge rusher, offensive tackle. I think offensive tackle is a major need for them at this point. They lost a lot of help on that line. But is it too early? Jennings Dunker, I see as a guard. Markel Bell, it's too early for them. Trey Zune is a guard as well. I see him playing center as well. Ugh, too early for that. Let's see. Cornerback, D-line. Kristen Miller is not a bad one. Gabe Yakas, not a bad one. Jake Golday, Chris Bell. You know what? I am going to go with Kristen Miller. Help beef up that defensive line. They need help on it. I think it makes sense for them there. Then we get to Pittsburgh, who needs a ton. Offensive tackle help, wide receiver help, quarterback help. Could this be where we shock the world and go a quarterback? No, I think there's solid wide receivers that they could take there. I have them going Jeremy Bernard. I think he makes a ton of sense there. Very, very solid receiver here. I have the Steelers going Jeremy Bernard. Wide receiver. This is for the Eagles here. I have Gabe Yakas. I have Gabe Yakas going here. Great pick for them. They need edge rush help. I think he's perfect for them right there. Then we get to the Chargers. Interior offensive line, D-line, offensive tackle. You know what? It says offensive tackle on here, but he's going to be a guard. Jennings Dunker going to the Chargers to help that interior. Monster guy, mauler on the offensive line. Then we get to Jacksonville. They need linebacker help, D-line help, running back help. Golday. Did he say they need cornerback? Not really. Safety. Could go running back here. Chris Bell could be a fun one. Tight end Eli Stowers. He's not my favorite tight end. I like Justin Joly more. Let's see linebackers. Call me crazy, but I like Josiah Trotter a little bit more than Jake Golday. I think the instincts that he has are much better. I'm going to go Josiah Trotter. I think he's going to turn out to be a very, very good linebacker in this league. I think he's the best one on the board at that point. Then we get to Chicago. D-line, edge rusher help, wide receiver help. Let's see. Cornerback is a big one, too, for them. I think Chris Johnson here for cornerback, because they did lose a lot in that defensive backcourt. I think you need to fix that. Chris Johnson going here. San Fran. I gave them Denzel Boston in the first. They need offensive line help, edge help, cornerback help. This could be where they go Cassius Howell. This is where he could go off the board. Derek Moore is a solid one. Keith Abney's a fun one. Danny Dennett-Sutton, I like a lot. I'm going to take Cassius Howell here. I think he's fallen. His arm length is very scary, but it's the same with Ruben Bain. Just a little less. I think Cassius Howell is a solid player, very underrated. I think this makes sense going here for him. Then we get to Houston. So, Houston. We have Peter Woods, Keelan Rutledge, beefing up that line. Offensive tackle, linebacker help, edge help. I am going to give these guys the next pick. They are going to take Jake Golday at the linebacker position to help them out on that defense. Beef up a strength. Then we get to Chicago. Back to them. D-line, edge rusher help, wide receiver help. D-line. Who's there for D-line? Dominic Orange, Daryl Jackson. Derek Moore, Dennis Dennett-Sutton. Overtone. Honestly, wide receiver might not be a bad spot here for these guys. Yeah, Burks. There's some good ones still left. I think they take the chance. I think they take the chance on Chris Bell if he's still here. Beef up that wide receiver room. They just traded away Moore to the Bills. I think they need fill that hole again. Rams. They got Spencer Fano. Guys, this is where they shock the world. We're going quarterback. They're going to take Garrett Nussmeier here. I think they love the quarter. They need a quarterback. They're going to fill that position. I think Garrett Nussmeier would be one of the better ones for that system over there. To sit behind Stafford as well for a year or two could be so beneficial for them. Then we get to Denver. And they need tight end help, linebacker help. And I know Eli Stowers is here, but he is not my favorite tight end after. He's not even my third favorite one. I have Justin Joly before him and Trigg. So I'm going to actually go Justin Joly. I know he's further down here. If he is on here. Did I pass him? Did I pass him? Let's see. Oh, there he is. I think Justin Joly's turning out to be the second best tight end in this draft. He's a fan by a lot of Jets fans. Love him. I like him a lot, but I think he goes much higher than a lot of people think. I have Justin Joly going here to the Denver Broncos. Solid receiver, willing blocker, physical kid. I like him a lot. We got linemen for them earlier. They need edge help, wide receiver help. I have these guys going edge, And I have them going Dennis Sutton. Good move by them. Physical guy coming off the edge, strong in the run defense. I think that makes sense for them. So we got Avion Terrell for them earlier. I have running back here. They need a running back. I have Jonah Coleman, one of my favorite ones, going to end the second round. Jonah Coleman going to the Seahawks. But other than that, guys, this is how we did for the Cardinals. They ended up with Francis Marianoa and, let's see, Ty Simpson was their last pick. Solid for them. But other than that, guys, Francis Marianoa, Ty Simpson, great picks for them. Then for the Falcons, if it wants to show, it's being really slow, and I apologize for that, guys. They ended up Caleb Banks, not a bad mark for them. But overall, guys, I think this was pretty fun. You guys saw the draft that I had for you guys. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think I did pretty well with this? Do you think I missed on a lot of these? This is what I think could happen. I know there are going to be more trades. I know there are going to be trades in general. So a lot of this could be changed. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Any of these picks that you didn't like, any of these picks that you thought I got way off, any of these that you loved, that you could definitely see happening. Let me know down in the comments. I'd love hearing from you guys. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for any notifications of when I post videos as well, just so you stay updated on what's going on in the Jets world. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I thank you so much for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
The Jets Ward.